Hey guys, my name is Ashley Gorelchik, and the article that I chose for this assignment was Do Visual Arts Experiences in Early Childhood Education Settings, do they foster educative growth or do they stagnate educative growth? And to clarify, visual arts means painting, crafting, doing anything with your hands, pottery, making sculptures, drawing. All of those things are encompassed within the term visual arts. So the summary for my article, there were lots of, or we know there are lots of varying art experiences that are given in early childhood education settings, classrooms. And each art activity differs in purpose. Sometimes we just allow children to explore and kind of do discovery learning with, various manipulatives, various art mediums. And then other times there is something specific. We're learning about butterflies and the life cycle of a butterfly, and so, we create a butterfly. That kind of relates back to the skill. And what I found in this article, or what the author found in this article, is that teachers don't feel like they are effectively equipped with how to implement visual arts into their teaching where the learning experience is educational. We can kind of color sheets, we can paint, we can do those type things all the time, but is what we're doing within visual arts meaningful to learning? Teachers, we've all been told integrate arts, art integration, art integration, art integration, and the teachers in this article, they agreed that there needs to be art integration, but they were just they felt like there was no support offered to them or professional development given to them on how do we effectively integrate visual arts into our teaching. So the author actually did some interviews so he could get firsthand information from the teachers. Why do they integrate arts? Why do they feel it's important? Why do they not? What intimidates them about using arts in their teaching. And several of the perspectives that were given, there were 12 teachers that were interviewed, and each of them kind of gave different answers. But a few of those were, some teachers said, are the visual arts really appropriate for young children, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds? Is it really important to actually implement visual arts into their teaching, and why? Some teachers said they don't really spend a lot of time using visual arts in their teaching. They do minimal, but it's not something that kind of totally encompasses or is involved in every single lesson. Another teacher said, yeah, I do art, but I can't always validate its educational merit. Meaning, I get them to do something that, uses visual arts, but what's the educational merit there? What have they learned, or what has been the benefit? Another thing, or another teacher said, a child's natural artistic ability should always be supported, whether it's, directly or indirectly. We should facilitate and guide, but not always be directly involved in the artistic experience. So overall, the summary of the article was, yes, we want to use visual arts. Yes, we know arts integration, but how do we do it? How do we do it effectively so that we are fostering education growth and not stagnating or stopping it? Another part of the article, it was titled To Educate or To Entertain. And basically what it said was students are motivated by a variety of art forms. Some like to paint, some like to draw, some like to do hands-on stuff, some like to make pottery. They like having a variety of art mediums, art forms, art experiences in the classroom. But if there's not some type of purpose related to skill sets, is art just for entertainment? So that's what that section talked about. Are we using the arts to educate, or are we simply using the arts to entertain? And it was really interesting. It says art skills and art experiences don't always have to be skill specific, because even when they're not related to a certain topic or a certain set of skills, children are still getting exposure to fine motor skills, gross motor skills, social skills, sensory engagement. So there is some purpose, but it kind of went back and forth talking about, are we using this to educate, or are we using this art experience to simply entertain? The second part, I did choose this article because of the title. I just thought it was interesting. Are we using art to educate, or does the use of art stagnate or stop that growth, that educational growth? And so basically teachers, they all, agreed that to some degree they used art in their classrooms. Through the interviews and the responses, after I read this article, I started considering and thinking about early childhood classrooms that I've visited myself and the range of artistic involvement in all of those classrooms. And I think it would be interesting to go back for me personally and ask the teachers, why do you do this, or why do you not do this? And have you ever had any type of professional development to help you figure out how to best effectively or most effectively integrate the arts into your teaching? I think that would be interesting to see, because in this article, the teachers felt as though they had not been fully supported or best supported. They were kind of told, we want you to integrate art, but they weren't exactly shown how. This article pertains to this course because I think we can all agree that arts integration, there's kind of been a push for that over the past few years, anywhere from early childhood all the way up through, middle school, integrate the arts. I know here in Tupelo, where I live, almost all of our elementary schools are titled arts integration or arts integrated schools. And so I know that there's been a push for that. And so there again, I think it would be interesting to look at teachers, interview teachers, go into the classrooms and see kind of the both positive and negative impacts of how this arts integration has affected their teaching. Has it always been positive, or are there some negative connotations to the overall implementation of arts integration? We know that arts, the arts, they foster creativity, curiosity, confidence in students, but I think it would be interesting to see if the teachers felt there was any type of negative connotations associated with the implementation of arts integration. And ways that I can use this article, I teach mainly the literacy courses to undergrad students. I'm in the teacher ed department here at Ole Miss on the Tupelo campus. And after reading this article, I was thinking about in the early literacy 1 and 2 course, how I could use the visual arts to enhance my teaching and to enhance my students' learning. And there were lots of things that came to mind. I think this fall we're going to kind of do a brain model out of Play-Doh and label it. I think I'm going to use some pipe cleaners to do a rope model. I think one way is we talk about the 4-part processing model when we're teaching kids how to read. I think getting the kids actively involved in that, maybe doing some role playing, doing some posters, definitely incorporating more visually appropriate, what's the word? Just some things to help my teaching, whether they be posters or anchor charts, just things that will visually stimulate my students into what they're learning. And then the last portion, the critique of the article, found the article to be very, very well written, well organized. It was a fairly easy read. I had to read several sections more than one time. I did like the way that the author analyzed both the positive and negative things or effects of arts integration, and why some teachers did arts integration more so than other teachers did not. I thought that was fairly interesting. And then I also liked the way through the article it encourages teachers to embed arts, the visual arts, into their curriculum, not necessarily in activities, but actually embedding it into the curriculum, which is a little bit different. And then if I were to do this, I feel like one just maybe negative about the article was it just focused on 12 teachers. And I think maybe if kind of we got more of a broader population sample, that maybe we could have gotten, a little bit more answers, just maybe a little bit more specific, I wanted to kind of know what they meant by professional development. What type of professional development did those teachers feel they needed in order to effectively integrate the visual arts into their teaching? Did they want to go to a museum, or did they want, somebody to come in, like an artist to come in and give them examples of ways to do it? Kind of, let them tell us or tell the author or whoever what they need as far as teachers so they feel like they can be successful with the visual arts integration.